process and the wheels and, yeah, rather than just, talking. And then, another goal is to accurately maintain boundary and zoning maps while communicating with Rio County Appraisal District. Anytime we have a variance, anytime we have a replat and stuff, our base map right now does not reflect that. Me and Ms. Moran have spoken a couple of times how we can go ahead and keep that updated and maintained. I'm supposed to have a up-to-date map in my office by charter. And as of right now, the one that we have is not completely thorough. The one we have is the one that was provided by our comprehensive master plan that was done several years back. So with our GIS technology, we're hoping to go ahead and keep that up to date as well. That's one of our goals. And then of course, continuing election education and gain certifications outside of my clerk's office. Mr. Reyes has approached me with floodplain management, becoming the administrator for that. So I'm hoping to gain my certification in that field and then closely work with community development to draft regulations and enforcement so that we can go ahead and participate in the National Flood Insurance Program that will allow better flood insurance for our citizens.
And how far away are you from getting that?
I will be testing in late August.
And all this future stuff that's up here, is this anything that you currently do, or is this stuff that's?
This is all this is part of what I currently do, just hoping to go ahead and enhance it, upgrade it, make our office a little bit better. Does anybody have any questions?
Just,
or
you want to mention,
concerns?
tell me your budget, just your budget amount and what your total budget is?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And
As,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You should have it on your preliminary sheet.
your general fund is just an overview right here. Inside the packet is the actual breakdown by line item. Though right now mine is at $157,663. I will let you know, I have spoken to Mr. Reyes, I will be asking for an increase with this floodplain management certification. I'm gonna ask for an increase just on my education portion, that's it.
Okay. One more question.
Mhm, yes, ma'am.
When was the last time that you did receive an increase?
That last one, the year before.
It hasn't been long, I don't know.
The last time she received an
It's
increase.
definitely been within the last 2 years. Was that last year?
Been within 2 years,
Yeah,
it's,
it's 2 years, 22, 23.
Yes, sorry, 22, 23, yes ma'am.
The increase for what, for her budget? Oh.
Crystal, aside from yourself, who is cross-trained to perform these duties in case?
Totally nobody. Right now, the only individual that's helping me with like agendas and stuff like that is our court clerk. She's kind of familiar just with our agenda software as well as Miss Bianca. But as far as public information and elections and stuff like that, I do not have anybody.
Mr. Reyes, have we considered that? Have we looked at that? Only because the part of the complaining from the community is the turnaround time of communicating with and bringing transparency with the citizens. We can't sit here and just allow Crystal and herself and nobody else in. What's upsetting the community is, well, I have to wait for so-and-so to get back. Or I didn't get a return call today like I was expecting. That is the major issue that we're facing within our community, and the phone calls that I'm assuming a lot of council members get late in the evening to say, you know what, I've called since Monday and Crystal's not there, she's on vacation, whatever the case is, so nobody else knows what's going on with my situation. So having cross-train would also offset some of these expenses within departments like that, because then you'll be able to rely on the next person. So it's something that I wanted to bring up during this budget time that we consider, to think about. We're requesting increases, then I'm gonna look into say, you know what, well then we better be more proactive as we move forward to see we have a bigger communication system going on. We've been pitching this for years. of the transparency. I know that we're waiting on the website, but those are things we need to consider as well. So, having, department backups to say, you know what, we can't just rely on that one person. Because if something were to occur, then,
Yeah. I wish I got a vacation, but I do not take vacation very often, but yes.
But you're doing an excellent job.
I used to have an RMO that was removed, I believe, in the 2018 budget. That's a record management
Oh,
officer.
wow.
Record management officer. She was my backup, but that was, she was laid off. She was cut due to budget constraints.
Well, thanks for what you do. You do an excellent job. For not receiving a raise in 2 years, I think you do an amazing job.
Thank you.
So we're gonna cut her raise and give it to you.
Cut her salary.
I appreciate that.
But no, you do
That's
an
your
amazing
zeros.
job.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
thank you.
All right, thank you, Crystal. All right,
Now it
Public
works.
Information Officer, Bianca.
What's this one?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So my department is responsible for creating and maintaining internal and external mass communication among city staff and the general public to promote media relations and publicity for the city, foster civic involvement and awareness of city activities, services, and programs. I also serve as general support to all departments as needed, so it's just me and my department. If you can go to the next slide. So this is currently all of my current and future projects. Right now, I am working on the website. That is my main project right now. I am getting all the information embedded from each department, and as well as I already had my kickoff training with the revised website. We are currently working on other things that need to be embedded within the site, such as the design, the links, information, widgets, accessibility, etc. So with this comes a lot of research as to what it is that our city needs, what it is that you all are requesting to see on our website, making sure that that's being implemented, and finding things from other websites that maybe we can introduce to our city so that our citizens are able to access the information more sufficiently, more easily. It is going to be mobile optimized, so a lot of the planning with that comes, we have to be strategic about the way that we're laying out information and so on and so forth. We're working with other things such as Placer AI, iWorks, Core Displays, Everbridge, and the Next Move Group. Hopefully these are projects that we're gonna be working with in the future. These are all to, get the city more modernized. We are falling behind, I would say, technologically when it compares to other cities, and especially with the times that we're living in, everything is on our phones. So we are trying to make everything more readily accessible for our citizens. I do our newsletter and our city calendar. That comes with a lot of the cooperation from all the departments, which I thank them for always giving me the information that I do need for our citizens. Next is our short list of events that we do within our city. We do have the back to school event coming up, as well as our Alamo Area Southwest Regional Economic Development Forum. With that, we are working with other cities, counties, stuff like that. I believe you all got the invitation via email, and then also as a copy. If you all have any questions regarding that, please feel free to call me. I will be happy to answer any of your questions when it comes to that. I am also ordering stuff for that meeting, so be on the lookout for that. We have the active shooter incident management training that will be taking place from August 20th and the 21st. We're planning on that too. We're working with getting the RSVPs from the various entities that will be participating in this event. Then come October, we do Homecoming Business Decorating Contest, Hispanic Heritage Festival, National Night Out, First Responder Appreciation, Christmas Home Business Decor Contest, our Christmas event, toy giveaway, Blue Santa opening day, that's with the Little League, Pioneer Day, birthday, the tree giveaway, and our movies and the pool events. So the information that I'm putting out currently and will continue to do will be for the Parks and Recreation. Right now, we're working on updating our rental information for our citizens. We are updating everything with the new motto and the new logo. We are doing the advertising and marketing for all of their events. Same thing for our library. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen all of the events that the library is hosting, which they are doing a very, very good job at. I help support their events as well as help market and advertise for them. The police department, they have their monthly coffee with a cop event. And I do see the conversations that are being had at these meetings. We would like to, I would say, enhance it, and we're trying to bring a greater following when it comes to those events. We would like for more people to participate in them, so if you all can assist me in getting the word out for that, that would be awesome.
Part of what, and I think the library and the police department are doing a pretty good job of is having the coffee with the police, and then through the library, they're also having events. Part of what we would like to incorporate is not to take anything away from just having coffee, but we need to talk about some of the things that people want to, just give them information and get information from them as well. Part of what I'm asking the departments to do was just to go over a brief overview of their budgets. It would be wise for us to just introduce some of that to the people that go to these social events. Again, we don't have to go over every number, but I think it's important that we convey the message.
Yes, and then for Public Works, we're updating their transfer station information as well as their reports that need to go out per, what is it called? I'm sorry.
Consumer credit.
Yes,
Public, yeah.
our CCR reports, yes. And then the utility billing, we are operating that folding machine to mail out the bills and the newsletters with that new formatting that we have undergone. And moving forward, Mr. Reyes has recommended for me to help with the economic development. So I will be gladly working on these projects, updating the facade grant information, the Chapter 380 agreements to modify them, tax abatement policy, other incentives, and the TERS. So, any questions?
The only thing I have question on, I see the variance change within salary requested for your budget.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me what that request we're looking
I'll
at.
go over that. Part of that, and I think I'll go into it a little bit as part of my presentation. Part of the challenge, we have 4 employees that are paid salary. And as you know, I believe we talked about the final rule provision, and we are gonna look at that. That's subject to change, because theoretically, I think I spoke to HRs. We're asking how many hours we're asking of her or whoever to work beyond the 40 hours. And so if we're doing that, how much we would pay them in overtime to accomplish what they need to get done. And so, again, I'm getting estimates as to how much it would cost us extra, assuming that we had her working 10 to 15 hours a week. Multiply that number times her pay to give what it would cost us to pay overtime. But the final rules, in case I say call it the final rule, I don't know what the actual terminology is, I've heard different things, but basically the Department of Labor says that if you have a salary employee, you have to pay them at this amount. And that's what the dollar amount, I believe, is $58,000. So that's part of the final rule. Those are salary employees, not hourly employees, but salary. So we're looking at that to see how we can change the 4 salary employees and we're gonna change them to meet that threshold, or if we need to put them at hourly. So that's one of the considerations that we'll be asking for this.
But part of that threshold, Mr. Reyes, in that final rule does not pertain, you were to re-evaluate those positions and audit those positions.
Yes, sir.
Based on it, and those exempt employees can only consist if the exempt employees fall under the administrative, those professional executive positions.
Yes.
So therefore, because I got a few, and so what we did is we audited those positions and they didn't fall in threshold. So therefore, the entity is not obligated to do a paid increase on
I
that.
understand.
So the other question that I have is, when's the last time did we get a market study on these?
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
So we're due for that market study again.
That we could potentially do. We didn't do it this year, it's not in the budget. And I'll go over that, why we're not doing it. I'll go over that.
Yeah,
Yes,
same question for Crystal, you know, what of these, you know, projects are you not doing right now that you will be doing in the future?
Economic development.
Yeah, that's the only,
So it's just the economic
yes,
development?
ma'am, it's just the economic development, other than that,
I will say this, council, this is from my standpoint, that events, that very middle one there, I know it's small lot letters, but I'll tell you this, that is a lot. I will tell you that, the coordination, to me, it takes up a significant amount of time. It does. And I don't mean that, in an ugly way or an ugly, I'm saying that number, what I'm suggesting is that those events from my end, because the one event that's not up there, Bianca, you didn't put up there, again, somebody blame her, is, the July 4th event. So
oh,
we
so we
have,
said we were giving it to the gym.
we did, we said that last year. And we're still doing it.
That's true,
But
but-
in saying that, that's part of the whole deal, is that some of these events, it does take time to get a lot of this stuff, and I'm not suggesting, I don't think Bianca's suggesting it, it's just her. It's a whole group of people that are doing this, but somebody has to coordinate the event and put out the information. And that's what's happening here, is we're getting folks that, quite frankly, are, to your point, Councilmember Carrillo, that are salary employees, and we're saying, here, do this. And that's part of being a salary employee. I mean, there is no comp time, there is no overtime, it is just do the work. That's what we've been doing with the past.
So Frank, y'all don't offer PTO, because I know like at the county, they offer them PTO time for the overtime that they work. Y'all
I'll
don't
pray
offer-
for them, that's about it. There isn't, part of what I do is part of what we do here, council, is we recognize that there's gonna be more days, more weeks when you work more than 40 hours. And so I'm as flexible as I can be with staff that are on salary and understanding, and say, hey, you need to take an hour or two here. I will grant you that, go ahead, for my end, I don't need to know every time you're taking off. For my end, you let you off for a couple hours because you work 50 hours a week, they take off. I think that's, from my standpoint, part of, to Councilmember Carrillo's point, that's part of being professional, is you know that you're gonna work more than 40 hours a week. And we, from my end, flexibility is there, but all we're asking is that you put in, at least 40 hours. Again, and most of these people, in my opinion, are putting in more than 40 hours of work, and we pay their salary, that's what we do.
Council, any other questions for our public information officer?
I'm looking
Thank you.
forward to you all seeing the new website. It's really
All right.
exciting.
The most popular person in the city of Pearsall is our human resource officer.
Hello, mine's brief. Jessica, I didn't give you a down thing of what I do with everybody, but most of my majority work is 85% with employee relations. So I'm dealing a lot with employees, because I'm only a one-man person here, so.
One-man show.
Huh?
A one-man show.
A one-man show, yes. I'm gonna cover what is gonna happen for next year. Currently, we're gonna be looking at the medical health benefits, because that's the only thing that the city pays for, majority of the premiums. Is gonna be a minimum of 15% increase. What do you think?
Max.
20. But we're shooting for that 15%. And then TMLIRP costs, Crystal forgot to mention that she also is a fund member of the TMLIRP. I'm just being her assistant and learning that part, of course. And the TMLIRP increases are the workman's comp is going up 10%. Your auto liability is going up 7%. Auto physical damage is going up 10%. Property is going 11.2%. And the general and law enforcement liability errors and omissions, there was no change.
And just so you guys know, TMLRP, that's Texas Municipal, that's our risk pool.
Yes.
So that's our risk pool that we participate in. Most cities in Texas participate in the risk pool. So that's where we get our insurance, and that's what she's quoting to you, is that information.
Okay, any questions on that? The proposed for the employee handbook, we're still working on it. I'm working with a consultant, hoping to get a consultant to help me, finalize it, hopefully get it started by October 1st. And there's gonna be a few changes, there's a lot of changes, but the main ones that I wanted to focus on was the possible proposed vacation buyback and sick pool that we would like to implement into the handbook. Safety management, we didn't have that anywhere. I worked with Art from TMLRP, the risk pool, and they had the safety management manual. So I'm really gonna follow that, and we're gonna be able to get the videos for them to review, and I'll be doing trainings once I get myself settled in case managing myself. So I do wanna start doing trainings and with Hector and PD and everybody, with everyone, okay?